it's Amanda speaking. Today's episode is going to be something a little bit different and very, very special. The idea for Madness and Meaning came from a desire that Kelly and I have to shed light on the oftentimes untalked about parts of life in the human condition that are challenging and that we hold shame and judgment around, and that we all think and feel, but either don't know how to voice or feel uncomfortable sharing with those around us. And Kelly and I wanted to create an open dialogue around these things because it's helped us find meaning inside of it. And because we want to pass along everything we've learned to all of you so that you can learn and grow from it just like we have. But it's one thing to talk about what we've learned after the fact, and it's a whole other thing to actually witness someone moving through it in real time. To watch someone having sudden insights and creating clarity in the moment is so helpful because one, it helps you see that you're not alone and that it's possible to find peace and understanding even in our darkest moments. And two, there's so much that can be learned from watching someone else discover things that they didn't know were there so that you can learn how to do the same. The process of personal transformation is extremely powerful, and we wanted to provide a demonstration of it in real time on the podcast. That being said, Kelly and I will be coaching people live on the podcast in order to provide that real time transformation here and now. So Kelly is going to be recording episodes where she's coaching someone through something they're struggling with or requiring guidance around, anything and everything they're wanting help with. And I'm going to be offering something called a higher self healing portal session, which is what you're about to watch and hear. I am a trance channel. And what that means is I have the ability to invite an energy being into my physical body to translate a message or a frequency. So a higher self healing portal session is a trance channeled coaching session with your soul. And what this means is I invite your higher self into my physical body and I step aside and they step forward and they lead and guide you through whatever it is that you're working through or struggling through at this moment in time. So you're literally having a coaching session with your soul. The unconscious is what drives most of our habits and patterns. And what makes it so challenging to create change is that we're often unaware of these unconscious thoughts and belief systems that are the very things driving every single one of our decisions and how we're showing up in the world. And the hardest part about coaching somebody is revealing their unconscious thoughts to them. And as Carl Jung has said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. What makes these higher self sessions so powerful is that you're receiving coaching and your coach is your soul's complete consciousness from this lifetime and from all lifetimes. So in these higher self sessions, your unconscious thoughts and belief systems are brought right to the surface to be looked at and moved through right away. And the entire transformational process is accelerated as a result. So what you're about to see and hear is me leading someone through a coaching session with their soul. If you'd like to volunteer to be coached on the podcast or have a channeled higher self session, fill out the Google form linked in the show notes and we'll get in touch with you. And for these live coaching sessions, your name and your face will be completely blacked out, so your identity will be kept completely private. These higher self sessions have become incredibly special to me because of the insight they can provide on the nature of the human spirit. And this one in particular is massively powerful. I hope you enjoy it. Hello.
Hello.
I am so excited to have this opportunity to speak face to face with you in this way. And I understand that you are a little bit nervous, and that is so normal. And I want you to take a big, deep breath and know that in this moment you are fully supported. And this is all for you and being done through you. And I am here to guide you and protect you and offer every bit of wisdom that I can while we have this time together. And you may begin anytime you are ready.
Well, I'm incredibly grateful to have this opportunity. I am feeling nervous. You're 100% right. And I'm struggling as to where to start. Um, but maybe I can start with my life right now and some of the worries and anxiety that I have. Um, Maybe we can just touch on, I don't know, I feel like I'm never satisfied with a lot that I'm doing, even though there's a lot of success happening around me and things seem to be going in the right direction. I still struggle with not feeling like I'm good enough and just some more clarity there if I am in the right place in my life or if those are actual signs that, they're more so fears or are they a warning to me that I need to go somewhere else in my life with certain things. So some clarity around that would be amazing.
Well, what about choosing a different path in life may offer you less fear and anxiety than you are feeling at this time?
And how do I do that?
What I'm asking you is, would choosing a different path in life lead to feeling less fear and anxiety for you than you do now?
When you say path, do a lot of my anxiety comes around work related. A lot of it is core family values and almost like my upbringing, and just feeling like I'm not meeting the bar, and I'm just confused as to like what path should I take that would be different. Is it career? Is it moving somewhere? Is it just a method of how I think?
My child, the discomfort that you feel has nothing to do with what you do with your life. The discomfort that you feel is a byproduct of your belief systems about who you believe yourself to be. And so, what I'm trying to show you is that it doesn't matter what you do with your life. These belief systems will continue to permeate beneath the surface and plague you to the degree they have been, if not more so, because you would be embarking upon a new activity. And with that may come new feelings of inadequacy along with them. And so the conversation that we need to be having at this time is, how can you begin to feel satisfied inside of you, not in terms of the way that you do, but in how you feel about who you are. And this comes down to becoming very clear on how you currently feel about who you are, where these belief systems come from, and how you can begin to see that they are not a byproduct of the truth of your reality, but simply a misunderstanding that has been passed down to you, that you are passing down to your family and their family and their family. And it is up to you to see through the illusion of this misunderstanding to the truth of who you really are, which is perfect in every way, shape, and form.
Wow, that was deep. I'm definitely going to have to go back and take that word for word. But I do agree, and I know that there is a truth in that whatever I'm doing, and even what's happened in my life so far. There's been so many changes over this past few years, and no matter what the change is, if it's better or if it's for worse, I still have that same feeling. It's still with me every day, and it's almost like a grief, and it's so much fear related, and I do struggle with it a lot. So maybe just some advice on how I can kind of get past that. And you said it sounds like a generational thing that I've brought from family to family to where my life is right now. What can I do to break that cycle and really, get out of it?
What is your relationship like with your grandfather on your father's side?
My grandfather on my father's side passed away about 3 years ago.
And what was your relationship like with him?
It was pretty much non-existent. Um, he was a very, God rest his soul, but very bitter man. Um, a lot of hatred, and there was really nothing, no communication much. I probably only spoke to him a handful of times my entire life. So, and that's honestly a very common theme with my whole father's side of the family in general. And it's very much the opposite way with my mother's side.
And so my next question was, how do you think that that relationship has impacted your father?
Well, honestly, my father has this, it's almost like this stagnant energy that's always around him. He's very, I almost want to say, depressed, down in the dumps, and he's never really had a lot of success in his life. I mean, he's kind of went job to job, and you can't really call that success. He's an amazing father. He's so good to me. I have a great relationship with him, but he's not satisfied with himself, because of a lot of that. Maybe that's where this is going to.
Do you see any parallels between the energy inside of your father and the energy inside of you?
Yeah, well, I think something just clicked there because that, growing up and seeing that and seeing his dissatisfaction, and a lot of it was career related and money, like financially. Um, yeah, I do see a lot of that, honestly.
This belief system that you are not good enough inside of who you are, regardless of how hard you try, is no longer yours to hold, my child. This is a belief system that you inherited from those around you because you saw it mirrored back to you. And you said to yourself as a little one, this is how I have to be in order to be successful inside of this world. I have to push myself to be better, to live up to expectations of me because my father could never do it. So I must do it for myself. And this is so innocent, my love. Unknowingly, you have adopted a belief system that was never yours to begin with. And this is coming up for you at this time so that you can see it. It is only through seeing it that you can begin to shift it. And so, what I would like to offer you in this moment is to, one, separate the truth of who you are from the illusion. The illusion is there to keep you inside of the rat race, constantly searching for the worthiness that you desire to feel and the acceptance you've never truly been able to offer yourself. Recognize that has always been aloof to you because you have been attempting to grasp it through a means that it will never be available to you. And that is through the way that you operate inside of this world. And so, what I would like to offer you in this moment is how can you begin to become a little bit more compassionate inside of you, regardless of what you are able to accomplish.
Wow, that went deep. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even have words. But that was just pure truth. What I guess one question I have is, what can I do starting right now that gets me, I don't know, more confident in that truth? And that reminds me, because I find it so easy to just wake up and have those same feelings and just get back into that stagnant energy. So I would love to learn what I can do starting right now, today, that would make improvements and change that belief system that I have.
I'm going to show you, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. And you're going to ask yourself, what good is this going to do me? You're going to question it. But I encourage you to try because ultimately, what you're searching for, my love, is to feel differently. And you've been attempting to feel differently by doing more, but it is not allowing you to access what you're looking for. And so rather than doing more, I'm asking you not necessarily to do less, but to feel differently, because ultimately that's what you're searching for. And I'm going to show you how to do this right now. And I would love for you to take a deep breath And close your eyes and get really still with me right here, right now. In this very moment, right here, right now, everything is perfect. You are sitting here in a peaceful place, and you are speaking to the very essence of who you are. What could be more special than that? And I want you to focus on your heart space, a space inside of your chest where the love from inside of you permeates. And I want you to feel grateful for this moment and everything in your life that has led you here. And I want you to allow yourself to take that in, because typically you hold it at bay. And we are not going to do that anymore, are we? We are freely going to allow the love and compassion that you have been keeping at bay from you to seep in just a little bit, and allow yourself to feel it in this very moment. It doesn't need to be earned. It is freely given and felt and offered. And I want you to just take a deep breath and take in what I'm saying right now. I am asking you to just feel gratitude for this moment, a moment that you didn't do anything to earn. It is simply a moment in time being offered to you, a gift that you are giving you. And when you are ready, I would love to hear your perspective on this.
Yeah. Again, I struggle with for words for this because it's just truth. But yeah, it plays out through my life a lot. I don't give myself worth or value, and I hold back my love, and I have so much of it. And I struggle to take in the moment. I'm always thinking ahead, what's next, everything, relationship wise, career wise, my social realm. And I just find time is kind of going by, and I'm not satisfied with what I've done. And I think a lot of it is from what you said. It's not giving myself, it's not letting that love come out and being grateful for the very moment I'm in right now. So I think one of the main purposes of chatting with you, and I'm so grateful, is to be more aware of that and to start playing that out like right now. Um,
There's an aspect of you that fears fully allowing love and compassion in,
why?
because, because you observed this inside of those around you, that if they let love in, they didn't feel fully worthy of it. And so they continued to search for it in an attempt to earn it. And so you do the same without realizing it, and that you are relying on some future goal to give it to you. When I achieve this, I can finally feel worthy inside of myself. And then the time comes and then it passes. And then for whatever reason, it wasn't enough. And so you search for the next thing. Oh, it's going to be this one. This is going to be the thing where I can ultimately finally feel the thing that I desire to feel inside of myself. And then it comes. And then it wasn't what you thought it would be. And on it goes. And this is innocent, my love. I want you to know this. This is a pattern that is not yours alone. You've witnessed it in those inside of your family. And this is a very human dynamic that plays itself out inside of many lifetimes on this planet. But ultimately, that is your goal here in this lifetime. It is to see this dynamic inside of you playing out and choose something different, regardless of how uncomfortable it feels. This is part of why you came here this time around. is to witness this dynamic inside of those you love, see it being reflected inside of you, and then making a different choice. And I want you to know that you may not always win. And by this, I mean, you might not always be able to offer the love that you desire to feel freely to yourself. That is not the point. The point is that you try. And that is what you are here to do, my love. Try.
Okay, I have another question, and I promise I'm going to try. um, the people that I have in my life right now, and for now, I just want to speak generally, but I sometimes worry that, I might be caught up in stagnant energy. And I'm not talking about all the people in my life, but just some. I just want to know if I have the right influences in my life, if there's other people in my life that I should be connecting with, that I'm not. It's not that I'm not happy with those I have in my life, but I do sometimes wonder. I tend to be a people pleaser. It's been a big problem of mine for a while. And sometimes I wonder if a relationship might be real and a connection, or if it's just me pleasing someone and having a fear of not being liked, because that's another big fear of mine. And I'm really not speaking to everybody, but I'm just kind of generally wondering if there's people I should be out there that I should be connecting with that I'm not, because I'm caught up in this stagnant people pleasing energy. If that makes sense.
What do you fear would happen if you stopped attempting to please those already inside of your inner circle?
Not having anybody. Um, I
And
guess
in
being,
pleasing others,
yeah,
who do you not have? You do not have you. And so
yeah,
you are already giving away the very thing you were asking me how to find. That's ironic, no?
yeah, that's very true. And I think it kind of connects well with what we were just talking about. Now, mind you, I've made a lot of progress in this space, and I'm still working on it. But I guess maybe some advice on what I can do to allow that to play out better, and be my real self and let go of the fear of losing everybody, even though that's never happened.
What you fear losing is you.
I fear losing me. Okay.
There is the discomfort inside of you that if you don't uphold a certain level of joy, fulfillment for others, if you don't attend to their wants and needs, that the truth of who you are will be revealed, which is that you are not worthy of their love and affection. Because deep down, that is how you feel, is unworthy.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Does that does that
that's
resonate for you?
yeah, that's the answer that really clicks. Wow.
And so, my love, by searching for others who you may not know as well, but who may have a different sense of self, the similar dynamic will play out. And so, once again, the thing that you are searching for will not be found outside of you. And what I'm asking you to do once more is to turn inside and freely offer you the thing that you are attempting to find outside of you. And once more, there is going to be a part of you that questions this. There is going to be a part of you that says, really? That's all I'm supposed to do is just to feel something inside of me? How is that going to be helpful? But I ask you, is that not what you're searching for? Is to feel something different and allowing yourself to feel differently despite the world around you remaining the same is change. Is that not evolution of the soul self? And when you can begin to feel differently inside of you, regardless of your outside reality changing, Ironically, what will happen is that the outside world will begin to shift to match you. The people around you will begin to look differently to you. They will be able to sound differently to you. And you will begin to decide, are these people worth spending time with in the way that I have been allowing myself to become invested in until now? Or should I seek attention from others elsewhere? But when you can focus on you first, the resonance inside of the answer will become more clear to you than it does now. Does that make sense?
Completely. Completely. It's amazing how that's so connected to the first thing that we talked about. It almost naturally, one thing flowed into the other. Um, Something else that I wanted to chat about. I've been experiencing this for years, and I, I guess you call it numerology, but I see numbers and they keep appearing over and over and over and over again. And I want to know more about what they are, why I'm seeing them. And I almost see it as a warning, like there's something that I need to do, but I'm not. And the numbers I'm keep seeing over and over again are 911, so like 911. And I just want to understand maybe if you have some insight as to what the purpose of that is. Why do I keep seeing this? Is there something I should be doing? Because that's certainly how I feel when I see it.
How does it make you feel when you see it?
Like danger, like fulfill your purpose, like warning. It's not, I don't necessarily see it as a good thing, to be honest with you. And I don't know if it's the connotation that's around those numbers. And think about like calling 911 is the number you call for the police. It's the tragic terror attack. But there's something about it that just makes me feel really uncomfortable and almost panicked in that moment.
And how often do you feel this way, regardless of whether or not the numbers are eliciting it for you?
um, I feel panicked quite often throughout my day. Like it comes and it goes. I have some days that are better than others. I struggle with anxiety, especially in the last, I'd say, a couple of years. It's been pretty bad. But those numbers in particular, it's almost different though. It just feels, I've been seeing it for years and it's the same feeling I've gotten for years. So I'm just wondering if there's a deeper meaning to it or if there's something I should be aware of right now.
The numbers are reflecting back to your current reality, my love. Every time you see those numbers, what's happening is a conscious awareness of what's already permeating inside of you, just pain. And there is one spirit guide in particular that has been trying to show this to you, because when the numbers are becoming apparent to you, so is the sensation associated with them, where typically it lingers under the surface and you can avoid it. But when you see the number, it brings up the fear inside of you in a way that is more consciously available for you. And so it has been a message to look at what's there, not fear it, but recognize it, because it is only through recognizing it that you can begin to work through it, which is ultimately what this conversation has been about. So how can I get in touch with a deeper part of me that's desiring to feel differently? And in order to be able to feel differently, you have to take a good look at how you're feeling right now. And it seems as though there is a great deal of unrest inside of you. And so, what I want you to know is that there is nobody that is putting forward a warning for you. It is simply a reflection reminding you how you feel and how you're desiring to feel in contrast.
That makes a lot of sense. And you said that there's a particular angel guide that is revealing those numbers to me.
There is a soul here that I believe you have a connection to. Do you have children of your own in this lifetime?
Not yet, no.
You will.
And these numbers are related to that.
There is a soul here that is waiting for their time to come into your life that have been assisting you on your journey thus far. And you know them very well from lifetimes past.
It's funny you say that. I have dreams of of a child with that purpose, almost waiting on the other side for the time to come into my life. And
You do not give yourself nearly enough credit for the sheer volume of intuition that's available for you. And perhaps this will take you on a new direction in your life, somewhere that you have been seeking to go, but didn't quite know how to get to. And the direction is inside. That's how you're going to find everything that you've been searching for. Is in the love that you've been withholding from yourself so innocently. And the more you can tap into that and freely allow yourself to feel it, the deeper connection you will feel to not only you, but the spirits around you who have been supporting you all this time. And I encourage you to take notes of any time you have these visions, because there are messages in there for you. And more so than the messages, the sensations that come along with them, pay attention to them. They're there for a reason.
I love that, actually. That's really powerful. I wanted to touch as well on I've been wanting to be able to connect with you and my, everything related to the spiritual realm. For me, I feel like you're right. I do have, really good intuition and, abilities that are there that I have yet to tap into fully. And I've struggled to make time for myself to meditate and to really focus on myself. And I guess, this ties back into everything we just talked about, but what can I do regularly, or is there some kind of way that I can start this habit, and how can I allow myself to feel worthy to go ahead and do that?
Well, first, it is questioning the notion that you do not necessarily allow yourself to feel worthy, but you fear feeling worthy. Because if you allow yourself to fully feel worthy, then perhaps you won't take the initiative inside of your career and in the way that you have been pushing yourself to, because you have been using your sense of lack to drive your motivation. And if you freely allow it, who knows where that will take you? I just want you to recognize that for a moment.
So, are you saying that if I focus more on myself and I allow myself to feel worthy, that I wouldn't be as successful in my career because that's going to take my
No,
energy away from there?
what I'm saying is there's a part of you that buys into this.
A part of me that buys into not focusing on myself is going to give me more energy in my career in those spaces when really it's not allowing me to feel any better about myself.
There's a part of you that does not believe it is possible to fully feel worthy inside of you unless it's earned. And if you allow yourself to fully embrace it now, just as you are, that you will feel lacking in some way because it is not going to be fully accessible for you.
I understand.
And so, what I'm going to offer you is very slowly to test the waters. And it's going to feel wrong And you're going to feel as though you are wasting your time. And you're going to seek, what can I do? What more can I do? I don't have time for this right now. I have to be doing something with my life. I don't have the time to sit here and feel my heart space. What good is that going to do me? It's not going to pay my bills. And I just want you to recognize this narrative when it comes up and be there with the part of you that questions it. And just to take 30 seconds out of your day and to open up to the love and potential that's here and now. That's it. Just a few seconds of every day. And invite forward your spirit team, invite forward your spirit guides, invite forward your soul self, invite forward all of the energy around you to support you in that moment. Set the intention to begin to build that connection. And very slowly, you will begin to find peace inside of the activity. And it will no longer feel threatening for you to take time for you. And that is how you will begin the process. But I encourage you to go slow with it and allow it to unfold in however way it desires to. But you may begin to find that insight comes to you that was not there before. New desires come to you that you didn't fully give yourself permission to acknowledge before, but that will feel familiar as having been on the peripheral of your mind. And for the first time, you will say, why didn't I think of it that way before? Why is this something that I put on the back burner for so long? And very slowly, you will begin to take different action inside of your life that will create a lot of abundance for you. Abundance of a variety that you haven't felt yet. Do you have any questions about that?
I don't. I don't. But I'm definitely going to go back to the recording, and I need to listen to all that again because it's hitting so deep. There's a lot of emotions right now. Um, I guess another question I had, it's not really related, but at least I don't think it is, but previous lives, I want to just get some insight as to, how many have I had? Can I know that? Where am I in my progression? And is this something like, I have so many questions, but is it something that just keeps happening over and over, like one life after the other? Am I early in my stage in my journey, or has there been multiple other lives? I'm just curious.
You have had too many lifetimes to count. And not only on this planet, but on many others. And what I want you to know about the state of your own soul's evolution is that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And I understand that this is sometimes a very frustrating response because it doesn't really answer any of your questions. But the reason why I am saying it this way is that oftentimes the human mind perceives the human lifetime as one that is not as highly evolved and that they are going someplace and that they haven't reached that place yet. And that is why they are still here. But I want you to know that is simply a perspective of those who live out their lifetimes on this planet, feeling the lack that we have been discussing. Your soul has been in existence for millennia. And where you are right now in this incarnation is a byproduct of every single incarnation that came before it. And you will build upon this one in the next lifetime. And a lot of that hasn't been fully chosen yet for you because this lifetime hasn't come to its completion yet. And there is so much more available for you in this one. And so I understand the desire to want to learn more about what you've been through so that you can understand more of who you are and why you are this way. And I believe that the answers will come to you when you allow yourself to go in and ask the questions there. And I do not want to rob you of the insight that will become available to you because there's an aspect of self discovery that you are seeking. And it will be so enjoyable for you to begin to unravel it in real time. So I will leave you with this. A part of you desired to come into this particular lifetime to gain conscious awareness of you in the way that we are having this conversation now, that there is something more outside of this very lifetime, and to begin to explore it for yourself and uncover the true divinity that lies inside of you so that you can begin to tap into it and access it where you failed to do in lifetimes past. And being able to do that this time around will lend itself to an exploration of you that you have not had access to before. And this is what you're ultimately seeking, is an experience of you in this capacity where you haven't been able to before. And I welcome any follow-up questions that you might have to that.
I'm very as you probably know, but you do know, but I'm very like action oriented. So I'm just wondering if, I've been wanting to get into meditation, and I know, like, being here in the moment and being present and telling myself that, I am, I am worthy, and kind of taking those 30 seconds every day, like you said, to be there and understand that and feel differently. But is there like mechanisms, like is things that I can do that would help, I guess, like be a catalyst to getting to that,
Exploring your discomfort with what I'm telling you.
exploring my discomfort? And what's the best way to reflect on that?
Shall we do it right now?
Of course.
What is uncomfortable for you with slowing down, taking 30 seconds and feeling love? What about that in and of itself does not feel like enough to you?
I think it's me. I give myself this timeline. I don't know why I do this, but I tell myself, I'm almost 27. I all these years went by. I'm not enough. I haven't done enough. I've told myself, when I was a child, I'm going to have all this by the time I'm this age, and I'm not really going to live the same life that my parents lived. And I just feel like in every moment, I'm constantly looking at what can I do better? What can I do tomorrow, next week, a year from now?
And
So I've
where has
just
that gotten you?
it's the fear of not being successful, and it's made my days tough. It creates
So it's
anxiety.
gotten you to the very place that you are running from.
Yeah. And even
And
though
so,
even though the success has been there recently, like career-wise, and in other places in my life as well, but still it's that same feeling, right? So
so what you are telling me is that the action that you have taken thus far has perpetuated the very thing that you are trying to avoid and that you were seeking to feel something different. And when I'm telling you how to access the very thing you are searching for, you are telling me that is not enough.
sounds like I'm telling you that.
I want you to recognize the fear inside of what I am showing you. There is fear inside of doing something different, that it won't be enough. This is the battle that you are here to focus on in this incarnation. The war inside of you between doing and being. Up until now, you have been focused on, I must do more in order to feel differently. But it has only gotten you to the very place that we are at right now, which is not feeling like you are enough. And that this is perpetuating this desire to do more, do more, do more. What more can I do? I have this timeline that I must fulfill. In my 27 years on this planet, I do not feel worthy inside of what I have accomplished thus far. What more can you give me that I can focus on, that I can do more of so that I can feel better about who I am? And what I'm showing you is that there is nothing more that you can do in order to feel how you want to feel. And the notion to do less feels oddly terrifying because it goes against the grain of what you have been taught and the pattern that has lingered inside of you. And so I would love to reflect back to you the challenge I am offering you, since I understand that rising to a challenge is something that invigorates you on some degree. I
Does
am
it does.
offering you a challenge, my love. I am offering you the challenge to fully allow love in a moment in your day when you are not doing anything to earn it. And that in and of itself will be enough. Witness the discomfort inside of that very activity and do it anyway. And slowly, over time, more will become available to you. But I do not have anything else I can offer you that's at this time, because it is through going against the grain of what you have always done that will be the catalyst for you, and that will lead you to the next step on your path, which will only become available to you once you take the first. And I am asking you to lean into trust.
To be honest, that hearing all that is just so satisfying and fulfilling, and I don't really have anything to say back to it. I 100% am going to do that and work on that, and yeah, I'm just so grateful to hear all that. Um,
Meditation will be helpful for you, but it will be challenging for you to dive into a deep meditation practice at this time.
mhm.
So, what I am offering you is the first step. And it is not necessarily the act of meditation that will open you up to what you are desiring. It is the feeling of unconditional love and acceptance that will, because that is going to be the key for you to accessing the divinity that's already there inside of you, but that you have been closing off yourself from because you have not been deeming yourself to be fully worthy of it until now.
Wow. Well, thank you. I feel like so much of this has been me asking all these questions, but is there anything that I should know now? Is there any questions that you want to ask me where I can look for improvements? Is there anything I should know?
What I want you to know is that you are so loved, and we are not expecting anything of you at all. There is nothing that you have to do. There is no way that you need to be. And if you take everything that I told you today and you throw it out the window and you carry on as you've always done, we will love you just as much. And
I
if
don't want
there's
to throw it out the window. I really don't. I want to I want to stop this because I need to stop this.
no, you don't need to stop it. You desire to stop it. There is no need inside of you other than the need that you focus on and the need that you allow to drive the fear that you're already feeling. And it is important that you make this distinction. There is no need inside of a lifetime other than the need to be who you desire to be, but keep at bay because you don't know how to access it. What I am offering you is an opportunity to embrace a newness, but there is no expectation around it. And there is no desire of your soul self other than the experience of you in this now moment.
Is there a particular time of the day that works better for me? Like I find that I tend to be awake more, like I've always called myself a night owl, but the mornings I do struggle with the most. I tend to have a lot of trouble getting out of bed, to be honest with you. Just the really low energy in the morning. And I'm just seeking if there's a reason to that. Is that the time I should really, meditate? What can I do to improve this cycling habit of every morning waking up and feeling that way?
Well, why do you feel that way?
To be honest, I'm not fully sure as to why. I mean, I feel like night for me is a time that maybe like my dreams and what's going on, within me at night is just the deepest low of what we're already talking about, of really staying in that stagnant energy and telling myself I'm not enough. And then when I wake up, I'm back to my conscious self. And maybe that's why I can't explain it, because that's what's kind of going on when I'm sleeping. But there's something to it, because every morning I feel this way and I can't quite put my finger on it.
You do not tell yourself that you are not enough in your dream state. You tell yourself that you are not enough in your conscious awake state. And so the first thing that crosses your mind when you wake up in the morning is a reminder of all the things that you have to do that day to earn the sense of love that you desire to feel and how exhausted you are by it.
It is, it does, it feels exhausting. It's a good
Yes.
word for it. Yeah.
And so, what I would like to offer you is that there is not a particular time of day that would be best suited to feeling love. More frequent.
I just
The,
find it's so easy to get back into the same pattern and, like you said, kind of throw away everything we spoke about. So I I, I certainly don't desire for that to happen.
and so, if we could anchor into the trust that you have inside of you, that you know what's best for you, what would be the best time of day for you to feel love for you and to you and through you?
Honestly, in the morning,
And that's your answer.
is there anything else that I should know, or anything that comes to mind?
The peace that you're seeking is already available to you. You just have to give yourself permission to sit quietly and feel it. And there's going to be resistance around doing that for some time. And I want you to recognize the resistance and allow that experience to be what it is. And remind yourself it's part of what you came here for. To recognize a different version of you, a different potential reality of you, to recognize your resistance to opening up to it, all the while knowing that that is completely okay. And trusting that in time, the answers that you are still seeking will come to you. But there will be some time needed inside of the discomfort of change.
I couldn't agree more. I needed to hear that. Um, I know that this is the first time that I've technically spoken face to face with you, but is there should we continue this? Is there a way that I can become more connected to my higher self? Um, because I've certainly gotten a lot out of this.
When you sit and feel, that is when you are most connected to you. And that is my answer. In time, you will begin to receive insights and clarity and wisdom in doing so. But like I said, you will need to work through the discomfort first. You have spent a lifetime running from you. And so now your work is to become more reacquainted, but there's going to be resistance around doing so.
So from the perspective of where you are, in the spiritual realm, has everything in my life already occurred? Like, is time relative? I know that's a technical question, but are you able to tell me if things are going to improve in that space and look at my life and, is there anything that's really big that's going to happen on my horizon? I'm just curious as to what my future holds.
What is the real question that you are seeking an answer to?
If I am going to hold up to being worthy and
And once more, you are asking me, what will I accomplish that will allow me to feel that way? Will I be successful at all the things that you are granting me permission to be able to be successful at? What can you tell me that will guarantee me to feel and anchor into the worth that I am searching for, knowing that it is coming to me through the action that I'm taking? There's discomfort inside of the unknown for you. And what I'm
there's
trying to show you is that your worth is still tied to a future outcome. And that if you cannot guarantee that you will reach it, you cannot feel good inside of yourself now. And so I cannot tell you the answer to the question you are asking because there is not one. What I'm trying to show you is that it does not lie inside of a future outcome. It is only available to you now. You cannot feel worthy inside of yourself in some future potential outcome. You can only feel how you want to feel in the present moment. And you are constantly foregoing the present moment for some future outcome. And that has led you to this very moment. And this is the discomfort that I have been speaking of. It's going to continue to be there for you. And you're going to continue to battle it for some time. And that is okay. And I'm constantly going to remind you of this over and over and over again. Every single time you sit down to feel love for yourself, you're going to question it. And that is me there right beside you, reminding you of this very conversation. And I know that that is not the answer that you were desiring from me at this time, but this is the answer that I desire to offer you.
okay. To be honest, I've heard so much, and I want to go back and I want to reflect on it and kind of pick it apart. And as you know, I'm a very emotional person, so that's running high right now. But I feel like I've heard everything I needed to hear today. Um, so I think with that, I'm good.
This has been such a pleasure for me and so valuable, both for me and for you. And I want you to know that right now the dynamic is playing out as though I am separate from you, and that is not the case. I am you, and you are me. And we move through this life together, and I am there for you always. But in order to feel me, you have to feel you. And know that the divinity that you are sensing inside of me is also inside of you. And when you can begin to tap into that and trust that and embrace that fully now, you will understand what I mean. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I love you deeply and dearly. And I look forward to watching your continued evolution in this lifetime and the next.
Thank you. I am really excited, and hopefully we can speak directly in the future.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Amanda. Is it
Oh,
you? Is it
it's
you?
me. I'm back.
Oh,
Give me your thoughts. What was that like? I know you probably have a ton to process.
Oh, it's really heavy to be honest with you. Like a lot of
Yeah.
the stuff you touched was like, well, it's not you, but my higher self
Yeah. Yeah.
was really, really deep and kind of going at the core of like my beliefs and like that family stuff that was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
wasn't too long into being connected that we hit on a lot of that. And I found like emotions kind of came high
Yeah.
some of those places, and it almost took my, how do I say it? Like I almost found myself distracted in some of those
Yeah.
places in the conversation, and that's why I really want to take the time to go back and pick it apart and reflect on it.
Yeah.
But it was incredibly, incredibly valuable, and I found it really interesting how every question I asked kind of went back to the same central theme of
Yeah.
the entire, like my
Yeah.
belief system and the fear
Yeah.
that I have and not giving myself value or love. And
Yeah.
so like that kept hitting me like over and over and over.
Yeah.
Um, so I was really taken back by that because I clearly there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I just I want to get in the right mindset.
Yeah. You did so good. I want you to know, like,
Oh, really?
yeah. Oh, yes, you did.
See, like,
You did so well, and I want you to know that these sessions are very vulnerable, and can sometimes be very challenging to be faced with a lot of that stuff. And I highly encourage you to just go back, like re-listen, rewatch,
yeah,
reflect, take it slow, and compassion, compassion, compassion. Like so much compassion for you as you're like dissecting this and reflecting on this and taking new action in your life that feels massively uncomfortable. And ultimately, like the process of undergoing the new realizations and taking the new action is what your soul is wanting for you. Your soul does not have a vested interest in any outcome. It just wants you to explore who you are and to
yeah.
give yourself permission to do that for the first time.
I know, and how I would love that. Um, I felt like there was a lot of things that were coming up, and I just felt so much fear and worry about it. And there was questions that I could have asked that I didn't because of the fear. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I would love to work on things and then try it again. To be honest with you, because I feel like there's places I could have went deeper.
There's a lot to move through in these, and so
Yeah,
take your time with it. I encourage you to go sit with it, you know, take this chunk and work through it and then come back, I would say 6 months at least,
yeah.
and go through again, and you'll be a different person then
I
anyway. And
would love to do that. Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing, and I don't feel nervous about it anymore.
oh, that I'm so glad. You did
Yeah.
so good. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I want you to know the way I think about these, quite honestly, is like we have a soul contract, you and I, where we came together prior to this lifetime and we decided that I would offer you this opportunity to receive insight, and you would offer me the opportunity to give it to you. And together, this is you are both, you are my teacher and my student, and I am your teacher and your student in this moment. And I think that is so sacred and so beautiful. So thank you so much for trusting in me and trusting in you inside of this process. It really means a lot
Well,
to me.
I knew about this soul contract because I had trust in you before I even had reason to have trust in you. And me and Kelly have a really powerful soul contract as well. But yeah, this has been amazing, and you're really talented, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.